Welcome to the Suburban Edge. We're back in the kitchen. It's the end of the school year, and as you know, what that means is 10,000 activities to do in the last week of school. And I volunteered. I know, I volunteered because I'm not busy enough. I don't have enough things to do to make cupcakes. And I decided that if I'm going to make cupcakes, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to share my very popular banana cardamom with cinnamon cream cheese frosting recipe with you, my friends out there. You don't need to take notes. I will leave a link in the description below. And I also have a handful, maybe 12, bananas with a lot of freckles. So perfect. Let's get rid of those. Let's share the recipe with you and get all those cupcakes made for school. If you don't know me or if you're new here, my name is Misty and you found the Suburban Edge. It's that place between the country and the city where together you and I and anybody else who wants to can learn modern homesteading skills. We'll spend time in the kitchen, we'll spend time in the garden, and we'll talk about really great ways to save money, eat more healthy, and live a more simple lifestyle. You don't need all the fancy things. Although some fancy things are nice. Let's get on with the cupcakes. I got a million to make. When baking, it's important that all of your ingredients are room temperature. So before you bake, get all of those ingredients out of the fridge. I had a bowl of eggs sitting on the counter and my husband helpfully put them in the fridge. So now I get to do something else while my eggs come to room temperature. I will tell you what we need to make the cupcakes, and maybe by then my eggs will come down. 1/2 cup butter. I use salted butter in all my baking because salt really brings out the, I don't know, I use salted butter. I have 3 here because remember I said I have to make 50 million cupcakes. So 1/2 cup is 1 stick of butter. You need 1 1/2 cup white sugar. 2 eggs, room temperature, slightly beaten. 1 cup, I will be mashing these, mashed bananas. It's about 2 medium. And you don't really have to measure, just roughly 1 cup. You can measure if you want. I'm not gonna. 1 teaspoon vanilla, a pinch of ground cardamom, or 2. 1/2 cup of sour cream. 2 cups of cake flour. You can use all-purpose. It won't be the same. Highly recommend splurging for the cake flour. You can find cake flour in the bulk section of your grocery store if your grocery store is cool like that. Otherwise, you gotta buy it in a box. 1/2 teaspoon salt. Don't get fancy, it's just salt. Regular salt. And that's okay, I'm still using salted butter. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, don't worry. 1 teaspoon baking soda. 1. Let's make some cupcakes. I'm going to use this to sift my flour and dry ingredients into a separate bowl. Not my mixing bowl, but a separate bowl. So first I'm going to put in that cake flour, then my baking soda. And because I live in the Pacific Northwest, baking soda can get clumpy. There's some tricks to it, and I'll show you what I do. I'm scooping out 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to sprinkle it into this sieve. I'm also going to add my salt to this sieve. This would be the time you would want to add your pinch or 2 of ground cardamom. Sorry. One of my favorite spices. A pinch is 1/16 of a teaspoon, or you can just pinch it, but you know, since I got it, I might as well. I'm a 2 pincher, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now I'm going to sift all that right into my secondary bowl. Now, you don't have to take this step, but I kind of think of bananas as being kind of heavy, and we're making a cake, and cake is meant to have a light crumb and be really kind of airy. And by taking the time to sift my dry ingredients together, I'm doing that. A few extra steps, but to me, it's worth it. And I don't want to give people cupcakes that don't really know me that are subpar. It's not acceptable. It's not going to happen. All right, I got a little emotional. but I'm okay now. Just sift, 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 and talk to your friends while you do it. So at the end, you're going to get these lumps, and most of that's going to be baking soda, and I can just smash those through at the end with my thumb. Keep sifting, smash, keep sifting. Nobody's going to get a bite of baking soda, and I have this fluffy, fluffy flour mixture here. Next. So go ahead and just set that aside. And now in your mixer, you can do this by hand, but if you have a mixer, that's really, it's hard to do if you're not looking at it. If you have a mixer, I would recommend using a mixer. I'm going to turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put 1 stick of room temperature butter in there. The first thing you want to do is just cream the snot out of that butter. You want to cream the butter first. Get that going. You're going to want to knock it around with your spatula. So stop every once in a while and scrape that butter down. See why this wouldn't be possible if this was cold butter? Once that gets creamed up, you're going to gradually add the granulated sugar. It's going to look something like that. Like yellow snow. But this is yellow snow you can eat. So I'm going to scrape this down. I've incorporated all my sugar. And now it's time to beat in the eggs. Room temperature, slightly beaten. Take that, eggs. Add your eggs at this point. And then you can put the 1 teaspoon of vanilla right in your bananas. Oops. I kind of splashed it. It'll be a little more vanilla-y. I keep my vanilla in the fridge because I make my own vanilla and I find that it really retains its flavor a lot better if I keep it in the fridge. So I also have to make sure that this comes to room temperature before I start baking. And that's a little something about me you might not know. I keep my vanilla in the fridge. So if there's ever a trivia contest, make note of that. That's where I keep my vanilla. You do whatever you want to do because I'm not the boss of you. You're the boss of you. Okay, at this point, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. I have a gas oven, so it preheats real fast. You probably should have preheated yours at the beginning, but I didn't tell you that. Now, we are going to come in a little closer, and I'm going to show you how you integrate the sour cream and the flour mixture into your wet mixture. You want to alternate your flour and your dairy. Again, we're going for light, fluffy, a nice delicate crumb. We want to take our banana mixture and incorporate our fluffy flour mixture and our dairy, which is the sour cream, that allows the flour to really incorporate and absorb those liquids. It makes an amazing cupcake. Do not miss this step. Super important. I know I sound like I'm lecturing. Come on over here. I'll show you what I'm doing. With my mixer going on low speed, about like that, I want to take a scoop of flour and just mix it in. You can pause and scrape down the sides if you need. But first I'm going to take a dollop of sour cream and put it in there. And then you alternate back and forth. I'm going to scrape down the sides. I have a specialty DeMarle tray. It was the square Savarin, which I love to use for this particular cake. What I love about it is this is the shape I'm going to get. It's a little square with an indent, and I just put one bloop of cream cheese frosting, and it's perfect. It works in a regular cupcake pan. It's okay. It's gonna work. Fill your cupcakes about 2/3 full. As always, you want to check your cake by lightly touching the top. If it springs back, it's done. You can also use the toothpick test where you put the toothpick in, and if it comes out clean, then it's done. Now, you got to be careful. You don't want to over bake your cupcakes. But if you've ever done a cupcake, it's going to run the same way. I'm going to fill this up, put it in the oven, and show you the finished product. Timer went off, cakes are out. I'm going to let them sit in this pan for about 5 minutes, and then I'll pop them out and show you what they look like. Beautiful little cakes. So gorgeous. Look at these little Savarin cakes. These little square guys. I'm going to let these cool. I'm going to continue to bake copious amounts of cupcakes. When it's time to frost, I'll come back and show you the frosting recipe. The cakes are cool. It's time to put together some frosting. For this recipe, you need 8 ounces of cream cheese softened, 4 tablespoons of softened butter, I use salted, 1 cup confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and your trusty mixer. We're going to make a cream cheese buttercream. Oh, my husband was in here a minute ago and he was like, "You wouldn't notice if I just took one." I'm like, "You'd notice if it didn't have that fabulous cream cheese frosting on it." We're just going to dump in both the cream cheese and the butter and knock the snot out of it again. You'll need to periodically scrape it down. What you're looking for is that to just get super fluffy. And I'll show you before I put the other ingredients in. Check it out. See that whippy? Come here, come closer. See that? Huh, that's what you're looking for. Just gonna add the other ingredients in. And slowly add the confectioner sugars. I'm gonna turn it up now. I'll have to scrape down the sides at least once. One more big whip and then it'll be done. Look at that. Can you see all the cinnamon flakes in there? So good. Does anybody want to lick the beater? The way I frost these, it's pretty simple. I mean, obviously, you're going to do what you're going to do with whatever tools you have at home. But I like to use pastry bags. And they're, you know, when you first start with a pastry bag, it seems a little daunting, but it's not. And it just makes quick and professional looking work of frosting anything, really. I buy them on Amazon, and I don't know where my tips came from, but I have an assortment of tips. Just cut the plastic part off. Please make sure this doesn't end up in your food. Be very careful with that. And then if you have, you know, no feeling in your fingertips because of your chemo, you may never be able to get the plastic bag open. Are you kidding me right now? Okay, I gotta go get my fingers wet. No, getting my fingers wet did not work. I cannot get this open. Okay, I'll start from down here. Yeah, it's super easy to use these. I mean, look at me. Look what I can do. Can't even open the top of the bag. I got it. Okay, so yeah, however you get it open, that was crazy. And I just push the tip down in there. I literally only have problems when other people are watching. I didn't cut it enough, so I gotta pop the tip back out a little ways and cut another little bit of plastic off. You just want the tip to be down there farther than the plastic edge, and it'll stay. And then you just fold it down over your hand and load it up with your cream cheese frosting that you just made. And it's kind of messy, but it's not bad. I just use a big fat star tip for this because I just want to fill that top square with frosting. Okay, then you just unfurl it a little bit, get that frosting in there, keep loading. You want to get it all in your piping bag. Okay, see that? So then you just want to squeeze it at the top, like so. And I'm going to push it down because I don't want any air in there. So I'm just going to twist. Did you see how it went down there? And you just twist it. And now it's nice and tight. And why don't you come on down here and watch me frost these little square cakes. Hey, my people. It's going to be just this simple. That's it. That's all I do. No sprinkles. Nothing fancy. Although it looks super fancy, doesn't it? There you have it. A beautiful little cardamom banana cake with cinnamon cream cheese frosting. It's not hard to bake from scratch, and it's a delightful treat. Like I said in the beginning, I like to keep these in the fridge. I hope you enjoyed watching today. I always love having you come visit me, and I am going to keep baking like mad. So if you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. Hit that notification bell so that you know when I drop a new video. It's usually once a week, sometimes more. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe. It does help the channel grow, and I love that you're gonna grow with me. Thank you for all of you that have. You know who you are, and I thank you so much for joining my team here on The Edge. And as always, have a fantastic day. I got more videos right there. Bye.